Ralph Michaels and Dave Koken are the main guests breaking down college hoops from a sports betting perspective on the Wager Talk College Basketball Tip-Off Show for a reason. Last year was the inaugural season of the Tip-Off Show, and we offered an amazing combo deal on Dave and Ralph, and many people are asking, what about this year? We heard you loud and clear, and for a limited time, if you buy one of their college basketball season passes through the National Championship, we will include the other through the National Championship for only $1. A college basketball season pass is priced at $3.69 per handicapper, but for a limited time, you can get both for only $1 more, locking in Dave Koken and Ralph Michaels for $3.70, giving you access to Dave and Ralph for 9 weeks of college hoops for just over $20 per handicapper per week.
To you now on this February the 8th as we got a lot going on here in the world of sports. It's a big weekend, but it's a big week in college hoops as well. Nice card here today, a lot of conference matchups. We've got 3, in fact, that we've isolated. We're going to break down for you here today on the show. We'll throw a couple of best bets at the end, and we will do it with one of the finest groups that you will ever see as Tony Finn in the leadoff spot here tonight. Steve Merrill back in it. And, of course, Dave Koken joining us here on this Tuesday. Gentlemen, welcome in. Tony Finn, I know you continue to cash those tickets there in the association. Talk to us about college hoops. What are you looking at here tonight at WagerTalk.com?
I had one play last night. It was a winner. Just had one single one. Tonight I have 2 plays. I've yet to enter them. I started to enter them and then was notified that I was going to be on the show. So as soon as the show's over, I'll have the 2 college up as well as my NBA.
All right, good stuff there, guys. And Steve Merrill, trying to find William and Mary. I don't see him. Are you going to a game tonight, or is it tomorrow? What's going on, my man?
I do not need to go because for the second straight time, back-to-back games, they are on national TV this Thursday night at Towson. Wow. They got blown out by 22 on national TV this past Saturday against your NC Wilmington Seahawks, Joe Raineri, who, by the way, covered again yesterday on Monday, losing by just 2 as a 6-point dog at Hofstra. So Wilmington now 11-1 in the CAA, despite allowing 48% shooting in those 12 games. They will be a fade team here in the near future. I don't have any involvement in the CAA, but I do have a huge card for Tuesday. I really like this Tuesday night card. You know, last week I hit that huge 5% play on Mississippi State $2 Tuesday. Of course, it's going to be another nice Tuesday tonight as I've got 3 best bets in college hoops and also an NBA best bet. This is probably the biggest and deepest Tuesday night card I've had all season in college and pro basketball, and it's a good time to get on board. I've gone 5-1 on best bets the last 3 days in basketball. We also won our free play on UVA outright as an 11.5-point dog last night, so 6-1 if you count that one. I've got 4 best bets tonight in college and pro basketball. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
Yeah, no, it's a loaded card here tonight, both in the NBA and certainly college. And Dave, I saw the promo before we started. You and Ralph combined 2 for 1 plus $1. Tell us about that. How much longer do we have to take advantage?
Not much longer because today's the last day. And for the people who've already signed up for it, I would think they're pretty happy with the results. Ralph's been going real well. And I'm on a tear. I've won 6 straight best bets, including New Hampshire last night. They were a 5-point dog, won the game outright. Most of these plays have been underdogs that are winning outright. So I'm very happy with that. I think the best bet run is now, I think it's 12-2 going back sometime, including the last 6. So, and tonight I do have a best bet and 2 other plays. Anything less than 4% this year I'm giving away free. So if you go to my homepage, you'll get 2 plays free of charge, and hopefully you can buy the best bet as well, or just get this package. It's the way it works is you buy my plays or Ralph's for the rest of the college basketball season for $369. That gets you through the national championship game. you get the other one for $1. So it basically breaks down to $1.85 for either Ralph or for both Ralph and myself each. The rest of the way, it's a good deal. It's very inexpensive. I think it's less than $20 a week for both of us. Take advantage of it. We're both in good form and intend to stay that way.
Hey, man, it's a good time of year seeing the board really, really well here, guys. Great opportunity to hop on board, visit Dave or visit Ralph for that matter. Get it done now here, guys, as the clock is ticking. And, boy, we got a couple of good ones here tonight. We'll start, well, where else? How about with the number one team in the country right now, the Auburn Tigers, taking on maybe one of the hottest teams in the country right now in Arkansas, as Auburn opens up as a small 2.5-point favorite there with the total opening at 149.5. And Tony Finn, I'll come to you. It certainly hasn't been easy here for Auburn, but they continue to get the W's, and that's all that matters in the end. But this is going to be a tough environment tonight. What do you think about their chances of rolling right through Arkansas tonight?
Well, I think it'd be pretty tough to roll right through Musselman and his crew. This Arkansas team, if you've watched them or seen them play or seen some of their metrics, they're a good defensive team. They have some guards that are able to cut, go to the rim, but for the most part, they're defense heavy. I mean, it's a little bit of an aberration for Musselman, but not so much. The personnel is what it is, and he's done a good job with that. The big issue in this game really isn't so much Arkansas as much as it is the point guard for Auburn. And he basically, Zeb Jasper, he got tested positive for COVID, missed Saturdays, or in the near miss on Saturday, missed. And so while I haven't heard anything, maybe you guys have, you can enlighten me on that. But without Zeb Jasper, without Zeb, or what we want to call it, this team has a problem with point guard. They don't have a point guard outside of him. They'll put Green up in the point, but for the most part, this team's really point dependent. He puts them in a position to make plays, and they have some terrific front court players that make plays, that can create plays. However, they can't create plays if they don't have the ball. This is a tough spot for them. It's Auburn's learning the lesson about life on top of the college basketball mountain. It's tough. You get everybody's best shot every night. You score 100 against Alabama. The next time you can't hardly beat a Georgia team, or it has to go down to the last second, to the last layup, per se. If I'm in this room, and I'm not, but I did some write-ups on it. I looked at it hard, and Arkansas at home is absolutely the way to go here. Bud Walton is going to be, or at least the Walton Arena is going to be rocking tonight. Those fans down there are pretty passionate.
So, I mean, you're looking at a 19 straight and covering 15 of those 19, Steve. They are pretty impressive, Merrill, this Auburn team. But the 4 non-covers have been as ugly as they get. So what are we going to get tonight? Either they win outright or they lose ugly. What's going to happen?
Yeah, I mean, they've been pure moneymakers, right? 17-6 now on the season against the spread. Arkansas 12-10 against the spread while going 18-5. So Auburn's been underrated all year. They have zigzagged a little bit. They're 2-2 against the spread in those last 4 wins. Barely winning at Missouri. I guess that's one of the ugly ones. Took care of business against Oklahoma. Obviously, a huge win against Alabama. That was a flat spot, in my opinion, at Georgia, right? You know, they're coming off that big win against Bama by 19, a high-scoring win. I'll give them a little bit of a hall pass for that flat spot, and I think that gets them focused here. You know, I always like to play Class A teams off a loss. This isn't technically a straight-up loss, but it probably felt like it, winning by just 2 as a 16-point road favorite. So I'm not going to get in front of Auburn here in what should be a focus spot tonight. They're the better team at both ends of the court, and they're laying a short number. So it's Auburn or pass for me in this one.
All right, it's Auburn or pass there. It seems, Dave, that the problems they have had have been maybe playing down to the lesser competition. That's not Arkansas here. You think they'll be up for it?
Yeah, I'll echo what Steve said. I think Georgia was a real flat spot. And they probably figured, well, we're going to just win this game. And they had a tough time. They're not going to take this game for granted. And the problem for Arkansas, and look, Arkansas is playing good ball. They had the terrible stretch early in the season, or earlier in the season, where they lost. I think they lost 5 out of 6. But they've gone on a winning streak. They've won 8 in a row now. Not against great competition. Missouri, South Carolina, Mississippi, Georgia. Good win against Mississippi State. They were lucky to beat West Virginia. They probably should have lost that game. And the issue here is, and again, I always go back to this, it's the matchup. This is going to be an up-tempo game. If you want to beat Auburn, the way to do it is to take them away from what they like to do, which is racehorse basketball. Well, Arkansas is going to play up-tempo because that's what they do. So if you've got 2 up-tempo teams, give me the better team. I know Arkansas is going to be fired up for this. The crowd's going to be great. Musselman's a heck of a coach. I'm sure he's going to have a good game plan, but Auburn's just better than Arkansas. I'm not playing the game, but the only side I could really consider is Auburn at this price.
All right, Auburn, it is a lean there for Dave at this point here, guys. Should be a good one. Number 1 team in the country heading to Arkansas. We're going to head to the Big Ten. Let's check out Purdue, the Boilermakers. They're going to be hosting Illinois here, 6.5 as a opening number with that opening total of 149. What do you think here, Steve? Should be an interesting battle here with these 2 Big Ten powerhouses. Who do you give the advantage to?
Well, Purdue's a really good team, and Illinois, though, I think might be better than people realize. I mentioned that last game. You're getting the better team in Auburn at both ends of the court. That's not the case in this game. Purdue is not the better team at both ends of the court. They're the best offensive team efficiency-wise in the nation right now, but they're not even top 100 in defense. And I think that's a big difference in this game. Illinois top 20 basically in both offense and defense. So, yes, Purdue the better offensive team, but we're definitely getting the better defensive team as a good size underdog, currently a 5.5-point dog here. And Illinois had some point guard problems early in the season. They're definitely getting healthier. They're getting better here. They've now quietly won 9 of their last 11 straight up. And once again, we're getting them with several baskets here. And the matchup jumps out to me also. Purdue takes a lot of threes, and they're extremely good. And that's why they're the most efficient offense, because that takes in hitting your 3-point shots. They shoot 51% from the field. They hit 41% from 3-point range this season. That's 24 attempts a game. So that's really incredible. Anything in the mid-30s or higher is pretty good. And when you've played now 23 games and you're hitting 41% on 24 shots on average, that's not a fluke anymore. So this is a really good 3-point shooting team. They're at home. They'll be comfortable. But Illinois is one of the best 3-point defenses in the country. They hold teams to just about 30.5% from beyond the arc. So I like the matchup here. It's also a revenge spot for Illinois. And keep in mind, that was a double OT loss against Purdue at home back in mid-January. So they hung tight with them in that game, could have won outright. I think they're a live dog tonight, plus the 5.5.
Yeah, that first matchup, Illinois did a great job of holding Purdue down. They kind of really got it going in those overtimes, Dave. But what do you think about the rematch here in this one tonight, Purdue?
I like Illinois as well. And it really comes down to a couple of things. One, I do like the revenge angle. And if you looked at the first game, you could make a real good argument that Illinois should have won that game. The other thing is the number itself. Sometimes the odds makers in the market will tell you something, because I think this line's a little bit low, and I think it's low intentionally. It looks easy to bet Purdue at this price, especially with the number having dropped to 5.5. I think the odds makers are giving you a little bit of an indicator of what type of game this is going to be, and I also like Illinois plus the points in this matchup, and I am very strongly considering adding it to my card. I think I'm probably going to end up making a bet on Illinois in this game.
All right, leaning towards Illinois in this one. And boy, oh boy, the first game there, Tony Finn, the points in the paint, that was kind of eye-opening because Purdue was better than Illinois, and that's where Illinois likes to live. So what happens in the rematch tonight?
Well, Dave makes a good point. I didn't mention it in the last game, but I think it's important too, the number. If he thinks this is a skewed number, or maybe the odds makers are tipping their hand to some degree, How about a team that's won 19 straight? Is it 19 straight? Number one team in the country, and they're Pick'em and against Arkansas. So that too is one of those. I agree with that 100%. That's to some degree chipping their hand. Now, much of that may have to do with the injury, and I don't know the outcome of that or the status. So to this game, Purdue. Listen, Purdue is a more balanced, a more versatile team. The Boilermakers they're not as technical on the defense side of the floor. They don't have to be. They're automatic 80 when they get off the bus. That's how good this offense is. And the size at guards for Purdue, you talked about the points in the paint, Joe. One of the things is that Purdue's going to take their big guards and they're going to attack the rim. And Illinois plays that 4-guard set. If they play that small and they go to the 4-guard set, they're in trouble. This game can get out of hand quickly. Now, Trevion Williams, he's played better. He's struggled a little bit earlier, but this is going to have two good big men in the paint there, and it's going to be fun to watch. But Illinois has been succeeding with defense. They forced some turnovers. They're doing the best in timely fashion. Purdue's collecting, heads and carving notches in their Nikes because of their auto 80 artillery. I mean, that's this team. They took Illinois to 2 overtimes. It took Illinois 2 overtimes to get 88 points. Purdue scores 80-plus points in 7 of their last 8 games. The small guards of Illinois are in trouble. They cannot stop these big guards going to the rim. If they get Cogburn in foul trouble, it's game, set, match. I'll take Purdue minus the points.
They held Coburn 3 of 9, shooting just 10 points, and Purdue out-rebounded him in the first game, too, guys. So it's going to be a battle. It should be a lot of fun there. Purdue taking on Illinois. And we'll head out to the Big East in our final matchup preview here, guys. And Marquette taking on UConn here, with UConn opening up 5.5. I'm seeing some 6s in that market as well now. 141 is an opening total. Dave, Marquette's just been, winning games and doing what they need to do here. UConn a little shaky as of late. Talk about scratching the head with the number. Do you agree with this 6-point line here for UConn?
Yeah, I actually think Connecticut might get this one fairly comfortably. And I know Marquette's on it. They've been winning games like crazy. But looking at the shot quality data, they've been really fortunate. Villanova game was just weird. I can't explain how Villanova was as bad as they were in that game. I don't think it was Marquette outplaying him. I think it was Villanova just having a bad game. You can say the same thing about the Seton Hall game. Seton Hall was in some kind of a mystery slump at the time. If you look at the shot quality breakdown of the last 6 games Marquette's played, you could argue they could be 0-6, and yet they're 5-1 in that stretch. I think Marquette's a little bit of fool's gold right now, and I think Connecticut's going to get him tonight. Not on my card, but definitely, because I just don't want to go real deep with these cards, but I think Connecticut's the right side in this game, and I would not be surprised if they win by double figures.
All right, leaning towards UConn. What do you think here, Tony, Finn? Marquette, UConn, Big East battle. Who are you giving the edge to?
The first matchup was back. Listen, Marquette was struggling early in the season, and I agree with. I absolutely agree. Marquette's a little bit overvalued. I think they are. They call it fool's gold. You can do that too. I wouldn't disagree. However, in this game, Marquette's a little different team than the first time they met around, and as Marquette shoots threes, so goes the opponents. If Marquette hits their outside shots, it hit from 3. They're tough to beat. They really are. They do a good job making the extra pass, getting the open look. And UConn generally has a very difficult time guarding the 3. Listen, Villanova, what they hit 55% in their win over UConn. That said, only 3 teams have made more than 7 threes on UConn this year. So, and that's what's strange is their percentage high, but they just haven't taken them. One of those teams included Auburn. So I would be on the dog here. I would be on Marquette in this game if I was in the room. I'm not, and I don't plan on it.
All right. It's going to be an interesting game here, Steve Merrill. What do you think here? You like UConn at home, the hold serve here?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we've talked about Marquette a lot all the way back. You know, Dave and I do these Tuesday and Thursday shows, and you know, I feel like we've had Marquette several times all the way back in November and December. We talked about Shaka Smart taking over that program. I mentioned that thought he was a little bit of an overrated coach. He did a great job at Virginia Commonwealth. He really underachieved at Texas. I believe he was like 4 or 5 games below 500 while at the Longhorns. They've had some nice wins this season. I'm still not a believer in them. I think you have to pick your spots with Marquette, and I think this is one of those spots in which we can play against them because, first of all, Marquette needs to play at a fast pace to be at their best. They're just 3-4 when held less than 70 points this season straight up. Meanwhile, Connecticut returns home off those back-to-back losses, so I think this is a strong bounce-back spot here. I like the situation for UConn, and I think it's a focus spot against a Marquette team that's a little overvalued now after 9 straight covers and 8 out of 9 wins. They're an underdog, though, for a reason here. I like Connecticut.
All right. Back in UConn in this one here, guys. It's a real interesting card here tonight, guys. Some great spots, some revenge spots. You got a little bit of everything here with conference play tonight. So now it's time to put it all together and see where these guys might be leaning to a little bit more than the others. And Tony Finn, kick us off here with the one game you got circled you like a little more than the rest.
I'll make this really short and simple. I like Stanford tonight at home as a 7.5, 6. It'd be between 7 and 8 point dog. Last time I looked, I think it was 7.5. UCLA coming off some tough times. They've had some issues with some players, some fans. One kid gets arrested for assault by spit. And UCLA's 9-11 against the number of the season. 16-4 straight up, 9-11. Typically would indicate, at least represent some degree of being overvalued, or at least not meeting the expectation of the market. That's what the case has been. They've struggled all year to win by margins, and they've played down to their competition, in my opinion. The Bruins did beat Stanford. Now, they beat them 66-43 on January 29th. But since then, Haas, listen, Jared has this team playing pretty well. They've won some games recently, not against anything special. They beat a Washington team. They've played well enough, I think, that they can keep this game close at home. I'll take Stanford plus the points.
All right, taking Stanford and the points and a nice little revenge spot there. How about it, Merrill? No, William and Mary here, babe. Where you going here? You got something else circled. I know you do.
Yeah, I didn't realize Tony was using Stanford, so I'm actually going to go the opposite way here. But it's a good game to talk about. I'll give a devil's advocate point of view here. It's what makes a market, right, guys? And this line hasn't moved too much. But look, I've got 4 strong best bets tonight on Tuesday, 3 in college, 1 in the NBA. It's the deepest card I've seen all season. This game did not make the cut for me. It was just a bit outside as we approach the baseball season. But I'm going to look at UCLA minus 7.5 for the late night degenerate special here on Tuesday. It goes at 11 p.m. Eastern, so you got plenty of time to dig into this one before you play it. But I think it's a good bounce-back spot for UCLA. Now, I know revenge works better for home teams. Stanford does have revenge, but I think that's offset by the fact that UCLA has now lost back-to-back games. Bad offensive outings, really, in 3 straight games, and that includes 3 games ago when they beat Stanford by 23 at home despite shooting just 37% from the field. Now, the reason they won that game so easily while being outshot, or not being outshot, only shooting 37, because they held Stanford to 27%, and they had a huge turnover edge, and that wasn't a fluke. UCLA takes care of the ball as well as anybody in the country. Stanford has had turnover problems this year. They had 22 turnovers in that game. UCLA only had 9. Now, I know on the road maybe are less likely to force the turnovers, but I think UCLA is going to play hard here. They are coming off triple overtime on Saturday against Arizona State. That's a little bit of a concern, but they've been off for 2 days, and once again, extended road trip, back-to-back losses. I think it negates any fatigue here. I'll take the better team at both ends of the court off back-to-back losses. UCLA minus 7.5. Late night game at 11 p.m. Eastern tonight on Tuesday. Once again, that was just a bit outside for making the cut. I have 3 college basketball games I like even more. They're all official best bets. Also an NBA game backed by a 20-6 super situation. Perfect sweep last night, perfect sweep on Sunday. Now on a 5-1, 83% best bet run the last 3 days. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com.
All right, good stuff there. Should be a good one there late night. And Dave, how about you? Which one of these games are you leaning towards a little more than the rest?
I'll give you another game I'm playing tonight, and that's the Butler-Creighton game. Butler won the first time around. Probably shouldn't have won. Creighton just had a really bad game. I mean, they got open looks and just missed them all game long. And Butler was hitting their shots, which they frequently don't do. We've got Creighton not playing all that great right now. They need to get it going. Their next 4 games are against teams they should handle. And it starts tonight. I think you're going to get a focused Creighton team at home. I think the number's reasonable at 7. I made it 9.5. So you've got a revenge situation. I think the scheduling fits, and there's no lack of value at the price. So I'll take Creighton minus the points tonight for the best bet here in the show, and it is one of my 3% plays this evening.
All right, love it. Staying in the Big East. Get Creighton to get the job done tonight, guys, against Butler. And our friends from the Gold Sheet, they've got themselves a game they circled for us as well, and that'll include Ohio and Toledo, expecting that game to go over tonight. And, of course, this full write-up, guys, you can check this out on our Twitter page at WagerTalk. We post all the Gold Sheet plays of the day as soon as the show is over. Check it out. Great information. Make sure you head over to goldsheet.com and check out all the other write-ups and the handicapping tools and data they've got available for you at goldsheet.com. All right, tonight I'm going to go with, Def, Texas, and Tom Izzo off a loss at home. So give me Michigan State laying the 4 against what eventually became a very overvalued Wisconsin squad. We've already watched Michigan State pound them once here, and I don't anticipate that's going to be a problem again here tonight for Michigan State to get the job done. 4 of their last 5 on the road. They are home tonight. I will anticipate Izzo and company will get the job done against Wisconsin. All right, one more time, guys. Let's check it out here. We'll recap what's going on off an undefeated Best Bet show yesterday. Tony Finn made sure we wouldn't have that tonight. He's going to go Stanford, while Steve Merrill is going to go UCLA. Unfortunately, both of them are playing one another. We do have Dave taking Creighton, laying the 7.5 tonight, getting their revenge against Butler. I'm going to go with Michigan State taking care of business with Wisconsin, and our friends at the Gold Sheet, Ohio, Toledo over 151 in that game. And guys, don't forget Dave Koken, Ralph Michaels, the 2-for-1 deal. It's over today. So please take advantage. Visit Dave's page, visit Ralph's page. Both have been absolutely on fire. 2-for-1. This opportunity only comes around once a year, guys. Take advantage of it right now. Steve Merrill told you he's locked and loaded here tonight. 3 best bets he loves available right now at his page. And Tony Finn, also red hot, not only in the NBA, but in college hoops. His best bets are up right now at WagerTalk.com. Visit all 3 gentlemen. And, of course, no reason not to make it a very profitable Tuesday here on the hardwood. And on behalf of Finn and Steve Merrill and Dave Koken, guys, we appreciate the time. Best of luck with your plays tonight. Come back and join us tomorrow. More college hoops coming your way. Good luck, guys. We'll see you then.
Ralph Michaels and Dave Koken are the main guests breaking down college hoops from a sports betting perspective on the Wager Talk College Basketball Tip-Off Show for a reason. Last year was the inaugural season of the Tip-Off Show, and we offered an amazing combo deal on Dave and Ralph, and many people are asking, what about this year? We heard you loud and clear, and for a limited time, if you buy one of their college basketball season passes through the National Championship, we will include the other through the National Championship for only $1. A college basketball season pass is priced at $369 per handicapper, but for a limited time, you can get both for only $1 more, locking in Dave Koken and Ralph Michaels for $370, giving you access to Dave and Ralph for 9 weeks of college hoops for just over $20 per handicapper per week.